Huge shout out to the guy in the parking lot because without him, I would have never met my husband. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Homali, and normally I talk about all the things that nobody wants to talk about while I do my makeup, but today's video is going to be a little bit different. Today I'm going to do a story time on how I met my husband, and of course I'm going to do my makeup while I'm telling you guys a story. So let's get right into it. As of this week, we've officially been together 9 years, which is absolutely crazy. I don't know where time has gone because I feel like I met him yesterday, but I also feel like I've known him forever. He is my person. But let's take it back all the way to the first day that we met. So back when I was 22, me and my 2 girlfriends at the time were no longer friends anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, we were going out for a little girls' night in downtown. I drove and we parked up. I went to go pay for parking, and at the parking meter, there was a guy standing there. So he started talking to me as I was paying for parking, and he's like, do you mind doing me a favor? Can you pay for my parking? I only brought cash and this machine only takes card. And I was like, yeah, of course, no problem. And he ended up paying me in cash, and we just kind of stood there and talked for a few minutes. He's like, where are you girls headed tonight? And I was like, oh, we're just going to Croc Rock. And he's like, Croc Rock? That's like all full of cougars. That is way too much of an older crowd for you guys. You shouldn't go there. Go across the street to Bar 244. And I was like, oh, is the music good there? He's like, yeah. He's like, the music's great. My buddy DJ's there, and it's $3 drinks. And I was like, $3 drinks? You should have started with that because I'm already sold. I'm 22, still in university. I'm broke as fuck. $3 drinks sounds amazing. So last minute, we changed our plans and ended up going to Bar 244 instead. We go there. There's 2 floors to this bar. The upstairs is just like a bar area, and downstairs is like a dance floor. Me and my girlfriends are sitting upstairs just having a drink. And I think maybe like 20 minutes to half an hour into us having our drink, Vikra and his friends walk in the door. Now, I didn't see them. I don't think my friend saw them either. But this is what Vikra tells me. He says that he walked into the bar and he saw me and my friends, and he looked at his friends and he was like, we have to talk to them. From what he told me, they went to the bar and like went to go grab a drink. And by the time they got their drink, we had already left to go downstairs to the dance floor, but they didn't know where we went. So they were like really praying that we ended up going downstairs. They ended up going downstairs trying to see if that's where we went. And I saw them like off to the side a little bit. I didn't really pay attention to them. Like, oh, I'm interested in them. It was just like, I noticed them and that was it. To be very honest, it was because they were the only 3 brown guys in this bar, and we were the only 3 brown girls. I think there was like maybe a few other brown people there, but like not really. So we kind of stood out like sore thumbs. So at this point, me and my girlfriends are just dancing, having a good time, and I can kind of see Vikra and his friends like inching their way over to us, but I'm like, whatever. I'm not trying to make anything out of it because I'm like, maybe I'm just overthinking this. Then the club photographer comes up to us to take a picture of me and my girlfriends. Do they still have club photographers? I haven't been to a club in God knows how long, but back then they used to have photographers in the club, and they would just like take pictures of random people throughout the night, whatever. This guy wanted to take a picture of me and my girlfriends. This is said picture here, and if you look very closely, you can see Vikra and his friends plotting how to talk to us in the background. Like, they're directly behind us, trying to game plan what they're gonna say to us, who's gonna talk to who, etc. It's so funny because at this point, when we were taking the picture, I could overhear them coming up with this game plan, and all I remember is Vikra saying, okay, you talk to the tall girl because you're tall. So he's like basically telling his friend to talk to my friend. And then literally right after we're done taking our picture, the club photographer took this picture of him and his friends. So you can see the shirt matches from the other picture. Anyways, after they finished taking that picture, him and his friends pretty much came up to talk to us. Vikra was actually the last one to talk to me. His friends approached my friends first. He eventually introduces himself. He was more of the shy guy out of like the 3 of them. I'm having mixed feelings at this point. Like, I don't really want to talk to anyone because I just was there for a girls' night. I was completely sober because I was driving, and I had just been talking to like so many fuckboys over the summer that I was so over men at that point. I wasn't really interested in talking to another guy, but then I was having mixed feelings because I thought Vikram was so cute. Like, he was definitely my type, and I was really happy that out of the three of them, he wanted to talk to me because I was like, you are right up my alley. And that's no offense to his friends. Like, they just weren't the type of guy that I typically go after. So a part of me felt like good because I was like, oh, the guy that I think is cute thinks I'm cute as well. At least that's what I was hoping for, because I didn't know for sure if he was just playing wingman and his friends were the ones that were actually interested in my friends, and he just kind of had to like be there. Anyways, we got to talking and he introduced himself as Vikra, and I was like, oh, hi, I'm Molly. That is my alter ego. That is my club name, because I don't normally give out my name when I go out, just because like I hate explaining my name to people, especially people that I think I'm never going to see again. It's just so much easier to say Molly instead of Hamali, because then they start asking like, oh, is it Kamali, Hermali, like, and I'm like, it's Hamali, like, and I don't want to go into that conversation. So whenever I introduce myself to people at a club or even like Starbucks, whatever, whenever people need my name and I know I'm never gonna see them again, I just introduce myself as Molly. Up until that point, I've never had anyone call me out on it except for Vikra. Like, he was like, that is not your name. What's your real name? And I was kind of taken aback because I was like, oh, no one's ever actually called me out on that. So anyways, I give him my real name and we pretty much hit it off immediately. It felt like we had known each other forever. To be fair, I feel like I'm very easy to talk to. If you've ever met me in person, you know that I can talk for hours and pretty much start a conversation with anyone. I'm definitely a friend that you can bring to any party, even if I don't know anyone, because I will make friends anywhere. But there was something about this conversation with Vikra that felt so different. I don't even know, we just got each other. It's so hard to describe, but it was more of like a when you know feeling. And I just knew in that moment there was something different about him. We totally got each other's humor and it felt so comforting to talk to him. Anyways, this man was trying to spit his game, and I think at one point he was talking about, oh fuck, I just got liquid eyeshadow everywhere. I'm like, I'm not wasting this shit because this is like my favorite liquid eyeshadow. It makes for the best base. It's the Danessa Myricks Color Fix Foils. I feel like I just wasted so much. He was talking about going to a baseball game and I was telling him, I'm like, I don't think I've ever been to a baseball game with friends. Like, I've been with family, but I think that's like a totally different experience. But I've never just like gone to a baseball game and gotten drunk, especially as I got older. And so he's like, oh, I'm gonna take you to a baseball game, don't worry, like we're gonna go on a date there, blah blah blah. And he's just like saying all this stuff and I'm like, okay. I think at this point I was so over dating because I was like, okay, this guy's like promising to take me here and there and to like go get Thai food and go to a baseball game and all this stuff. And I was like, I had just been on so many bad dates in that last year that I was like, okay, whatever. Like, I wasn't getting my hopes up, even though I really enjoyed talking to him and I thought we were getting along really well. So it was very much in this like standoffish, yeah, we'll see type of mood. Like, I was taking everything he was saying with a grain of salt because I was like, I don't know, I just like wanted to keep my guard up. Because you know how men can be, they can talk the talk, but will they actually follow through? Look how much product I wasted. I'm like so sad. I'm trying to like suck it back into this thing because I don't want to get rid of it. It's on this one too. I'm so sad right now. Anyways, I got as much as I could back in it. So yeah, we're all having a good time. His friends are buying my friends drinks. So at this point, we're pretty committed to talking to these guys. The night goes on, we're dancing, chatting, having a good time, and my friend starts talking to Vikra and she finds out that he lives really close to where she works, and where she works, it's really hard to find parking. Like, parking is so expensive. And she looks at me and jokingly says, Hamali, you have to marry this guy so that I can park at his house for free whenever I go to work. And then she looks at Vikra and was like, you have to marry her, okay? So as a joke, he takes the ring that's on my finger and fake marries me that night. Little did we know that we'd actually get married a few years later. And looking back at it, I just think it's so funny because I was like, maybe this was just meant to be. Because what are the chances he was just joking around and being like, I'm basically gonna marry you. After a while, the night pretty much ends and we're all leaving the club. One thing me and my girlfriends loved to do back then after a night of clubbing was get hot dogs. So there was a hot dog vendor like right outside the club, and we're like, you want to go get hot dogs? And then the guys actually joined us as well. My friends were like, will you take care of it? And I was like, yeah, don't worry about it. So I'm standing in front trying to order us hot dogs, and Vikra is standing there with me. And he orders us all hot dogs and pays for it. And I was like, okay, what a gentleman, paid for my hot dog. So I'm eating my hot dog and I'm a pretty messy eater. And I get breadcrumbs like all over my mouth. I didn't notice, but he obviously did because he's looking at me. And he stops me and he like wipes the breadcrumbs off my mouth. And I was like, okay, this guy's a keeper. I'm like young and dumb and 22. I was like, wow, I can't believe he like wipe breadcrumbs off my face. But in my head at the time, I was like, okay, this guy like actually feels comfortable with me and wouldn't let me go around looking stupid. Because I've noticed with a lot of people, like if I have something on my face and I just kind of met the person or I don't know them that well, they won't tell me that I have shit on my face. And that pisses me off because I'm the type of person that will let you know. I'm not gonna let you walk around looking like that. And so I really appreciated him wiping the breadcrumbs off my face because I was like, okay, you're a real one. You wouldn't let me walk around looking stupid. Can you tell by this story that I was 22 and young and that it didn't take much to impress me? But even now, I still think it's like sweet that he did that. I still rate him for that. After we finished eating our hot dogs, the boys walked us back to my car. I parked in this like sketchy little alleyway. It was like a really, really tight parking spot. So anyways, we pretty much like talked for a little bit and then they left and I got in my car and was trying to like reverse out. When I tell you guys I was struggling to get out of this parking spot, I was struggling. I was trying to back out of that space for like a good 5 minutes and there was people around trying to help me get out of this space. Like I really just couldn't do it. I was also internally panicking a little bit because I was like, how the fuck am I supposed to get out of this parking spot? Like I just didn't even know if I could do it. And then after 5 minutes of seriously struggling, Vikra actually came back to my car and he's like, are you okay? And I was like, what the fuck? I thought you left. And he's like, no, me and the guys were just waiting outside the parking lot to make sure you got out okay because we knew the spot was a little bit tight. And so we just wanted to make sure that you guys left okay. And I was like, that is so sweet. And then I hopped out of my car and I was like, you reverse it. Cause I was like, I cannot fucking do this. He was trying to give me pointers of how to like reverse the car out. And I was like, this is just, it's not working. You just do it. And thank God he came back because he reversed that thing so easily. Again, like bonus points for me because I was like, that's hot. Not the fact that he reversed the car, although that was really nice, but the fact that he like stayed and made sure I was okay. And thank God he did because I'd probably still be there till this day. Once I finally got my car out, I drove home, dropped off my girlfriends, and then me and Vikra actually stayed up until I think it was like 4:30 texting each other all night. When I tell you I was like head over heels, I was head over heels. Looking back at it, I'm like, girl, stand up. Like I fell so hard and so fast for him. The way I felt about him and around him was very different than anyone that I've ever dated in the past. And like looking back at it, I definitely think at the time I thought he was the one, but I was just in denial because I had so many bad experiences. But I'm like really happy it all worked out because 9 years later, we're still together and I still love him. And I still get excited to see him and butterflies around him, and I'm just really, really happy to be with him. And yes, I was the first one to message him the next day. I don't know if I should be embarrassed about that, but I don't regret it at all. I don't know about now because obviously I haven't dated anyone in like 9 years, but back then I was definitely the type of person that was like, okay, I'm just gonna shoot my shot. I don't care if I'm double texting. I don't care if I'm the one that texts first. Like I was not someone that wanted to play games when it came to dating and finding love. I just felt like if you like me, then you like me. And if you don't, then it'll be obvious. Like you're not gonna text me back. You're not gonna, you know, make any type of effort, and it is what it is. And as much as I'll be sad, I'm just gonna have to accept that. And so I had no problem being the first person to text. To me, it's like, if you like me, you'll text me back. It's that simple. I'm not here to play games. Anyways, that's the story of how we met. Personally, I never used to think it was cute because I was like, oh yeah, we just met at a bar. But then when I really looked into the details of the story, it felt like it was meant to be. Huge shout out to the guy in the parking lot for convincing me to go to bar 244 instead, because without him, I would have never met Vikra. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised that I've never told this story before, because it's been 9 years and I've been asked a million times how me and my husband have met. But I guess today's the day I was ready to tell the story. Maybe I should get him in a video so he can share his version of how we met. Let me know if you guys want to see that video. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. This is the final look. If you want to know any of the products I used, I have linked them on my LTK. The link is in the description below. Also, let me know what you want to see in my next Get Ready With Me. Leave me some topics, ask me a question, ask for advice. Let me know if you like more story times like this. Let me know in the comments below, or send me a message on Instagram. I've linked my Instagram below too, so you can DM me. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in my next Get Ready With Me. Bye, I love you.